Thanks for taking a look at the Coachmen Prism. It's a 2022 Mercedes chassis built by Coachmen. This is the Prism Elite model. Even if you look up Elite, the floor plans are slightly different. So we'll give you a quick tour of the RV here. There is an outside entertainment section. As far as signal goes, it only works if you have a subscription to a signal, which there is not one built in. However, you can plug in your devices to it. Right here is the LP or propane fill section. Shouldn't need access to here, but that's your refrigerator and your water heater service access. There's a small storage bin here. As we walk around the rear side, there is a rear camera. There's a few of the items that are included. We always include gloves, although unless you have to dump it yourself during your rental, the prep fee includes me dumping all of your septic and waste. This is fairly full already, so we do rent a small luggage platform that can go into the hitch because towing is not permitted. So if you want to bring extra lawn chairs or a grill and you find you run out of space, or you think you may bring extra stuff like a sup board, etc., that can fit onto your extra tailgate. This is of course in the park position with the slides out. There is an outdoor shower to rinse off. Here is your water service that I will go over in more detail. Here is another storage. Obviously these storage containers are easier to access with the slides in. And that's a quick walk around on the outside. Of note with this door, there is a hinge and a auto closer, but please, if it's a windy day, hold on to the door before you open it. It'll pull right out of your hands. Right now the bed is in the bed format. This folds up into a full dinette. The shades are outstanding. You have screens on the lower portion. You have a total blackout privacy, and then you have a partial privacy with still having light. There is a bed and a ladder up top. I'll go over some of the things in the cockpit later. Your full access to your controls are here in this digital panel for your slides, for your lighting, temperature control, etc. Once you're in your rental, this refrigerator button should be in the top section all the time. The rest of the refrigerator controls are on the unit itself. There are USB ports here that only work when you're plugged in. There's an inside TV, storage, a full, nice, deep kitchen sink, more storage underneath the oven. Microwave only works while you're under power, either plugged in or using your generator. Here is your refrigerator. Make sure it's latched before you get underway. An ice box. It works exceptionally well. More storage. This is storage here with 3 drawers for silverware, etc. There is storage under each of the bunks, benches. As we head into the back, there's 2 storage drawers. This is a hanging wardrobe. The restroom, full shower. I'm 6'1" and I stand up in there fairly comfortably. Storage, toilet. The rear window is your egress window, only in the case of emergency. And of course, the queen bed. It's called an RV queen, so my understanding is it's the width of a queen, but a little bit shorter. More storage here. Of note, with these storage bins, you cannot access them when the slide is in. So if you need something when you're en route, you're going to have to park on a level surface as we are now, put the slide out and access those bins. Kind of a silly design, but that's the way it is. This is your sliding kind of a pocket style door here. It's latched for driving at the moment. That's a quick inside tour. Here is the dinette in the dinette position. There are only 2 seatbelts in the back of the RV, one here and one on that bench that's just hidden at the moment. So plus the 2 up front leaves you seatbelts for 4. This is a 4-person or less rental only because of the seatbelt configuration. This table is on a compressor arm. There's a locking device right here. Now if you gently push down from the top, the whole table compresses. It will sit on these ledges on either side, and then you slide the cushions over to make your bed. And the reverse going up, the only thing that's important is when it's up, it's hard to do with one hand. You lift and put that lock in place, so when you're resting your arms at the table, it doesn't compress down again on you. Please remember that this RV is designed to be simple and comfortable, but it does work differently than a house, so understanding a few basics will make your trip go much smoother. It's built on a Mercedes chassis, so compared to larger RVs at 25 feet, it's much easier to drive, park, fuel, and maneuver. Remember, and I will say it several times, and you'll read it several times, it is diesel. Absolutely no gasoline. It will be a costly repair, well beyond your security deposit if you accidentally put gasoline. Not to mention that it will ruin your trip because it will be mechanically incapacitated until towed and repaired. I'm not going to go over every bell and whistle in the RV. There are paddle shifters, downshifting, upshifting behind. You see the minus or the plus and the minus. This works in your display. If you push this button, you'll get settings, and then this is a tiny touch screen. You can scroll back and forth. You don't need to change any settings unless you choose to. Your seat controls are in the arm. This is a typical CarPlay, so whatever device you have will work. Underneath, this is an odd thing, but Mercedes has you put the key fob in here. It registers it easier. There is a USB-C port for charging purposes here. There is the old-fashioned style cigarette lighter port if you bring your own small inverter to charge your larger devices. Hazard lights are here. Temperature controls are here. You push this button on the dash is where your cord goes in for the CarPlay, and there's also 2 additional USB-C ports up front. Lighting is here, and since we're parked, this is off, but you have turn signal cameras left and right and a reverse camera, all display on that screen. These seats do swivel. There is a release mechanism under the seat that you can spin around 180 degrees, so once you're parked, you can sit and use it as additional seating. This is your handbrake for emergency brake. Yes, you can see it's displayed there. To release it, push the button with your thumb, pull up slightly, and make sure that that red light goes out all the way. Of note, this is a GPS tracked vehicle, so again, as stated in all of the documentation online, it cannot be used for festivals, Burning Man, towing, or parties. The goal is a relaxed, responsible feel. Taking you back outside to show you where the diesel is. So you pull right up next to the driver's side door, and this little unit, again, it says diesel on the outside. It says diesel on the inside. It's fine if you go to a truck stop and fill up at the truck station, although they pump probably 3 or 4 times faster than the gasoline pumps do, and they don't often shut off, so watch it. It will overflow before you can blink an eye. A little bit about electricity. This is a 30 amp system. When you pull into an RV park or most campgrounds, they have either 30 amp or 50 amp. Do not plug into a 50 amp. There are adapters that will allow you to do it, and it's not advised. In fact, you will blow the system here if you somehow get yourself an adapter, or they leave an adapter and you plug into it. So it's hard to do with one hand, but this plugs in, this screws on to make sure you have a solid fit. This end goes into this surge protector right here at the post of your campground or RV park, and this plugs into the post at the campground or RV park. While this is a surge protector, using your own electronics is at your own risk. I can't predict what problems there may have at the campground, because brownouts or surges are common inside campgrounds. Regarding power on the inside, you will see multiple power sources, typical USBs. If you are plugged in or running a generator, those will work. I will find one of the other plugs. Oh, I'm sorry, it's right there. It looks just like your house plug, but it is a little dark down there. You can plug things into that, but not when you're driving down the road, not when you are boondocking, which means you have no power supply. So just because you see a power outlet doesn't mean it has power. Okay, the generator is located outside with an outside access port underneath this approximate area, underneath this seat. You can hear it running. I just started it from this panel. I'm on the home screen at this moment, and right here you see generator running. There's a start button and a stop button. So just like if you're plugged in at a campground, right now I can use my microwave, I can run a hair dryer, I can do all the things that I would want to do just like at home. The generator is one of the most frequent items to break. Although it is serviced and it runs great, it has low hours. That's just something to keep in mind. Generators just tend to be faulty, but it is running. And to stop it, you press the stop button and off she goes. Once the generator is running, it's pretty easy to go find it because it's noisy and kind of smelly. But there's your generator location. Those two black knobs spin and the panel comes off for easy access, and you can also remote start it out here. It runs on LP propane, so keep in mind if this is a longer rental and you're cooking every day, or if it's cold out and you're using the heat, all of those things use propane, so keep that in mind. You can run out of propane quicker when you're using the generator, but that's its location. The other item you may run in the summertime is the air conditioning. So I'm in a big parking lot at Red Rocks right now, so I don't have any power, so the generator is running. It's just like at home. You can hit cool, turn your temperature, and you can see that little snowflake just lit up, and within a couple seconds the rooftop unit kicks on. It's located again on the roof. There it is, and it's pumping out the cold air. Keep in mind that the air conditioning draws a lot of amperage. Not ideal for the long term to be using it with a generator. That's completely up to you, but generator is charged by the hour, and as I mentioned, it's something that can easily run your propane dry quickly. Whenever you plug into campground power, always use that inline surge protector. There is no inverter on board, which means wall outlets only work when you're plugged into campground power or when the generator is running. There is a small solar panel to help keep your batteries topped off, but it is not designed for multi-day boondocking. And lastly, the refrigerator. It runs differently than a residential refrigerator. It's designed for RV use, so I will have it cold upon your pickup. The longer you leave the door open, the quicker it's going to get warm. And if you put 3 or 4 cases of warm beer in there, it's not going to get cold for several days. So only put cold items into the fridge. Do not expect it to cool your beer down in an hour or 2. It will be a day or 2 at least. So don't put warm things into the fridge. Okay, I'm going to start outside on the water and sewer systems. There's 3 tanks on the RV, one for fresh water, one for black water or sewage, which only goes or fills from the toilet. It's the only device that fills the black tank. The 3rd tank is called gray water. That one takes everything from your shower and your sink and your bathroom sink as well. So this is pretty well labeled. Again, if you're expecting to boondock and you're not going to drive hours and hours and hours, I will fill the tank, the water tank for you. When you leave, all of the septic tanks or the sewage tanks will be empty. But keep in mind, if you drive with 50 gallons of water, you're going to have less gas mileage. So if you don't need it, I'll only fill it a 1/3 full or a 1/2 full. If you're driving to a campground with a water source at your campsite, there's no need to leave the tank full or really have any water except for perhaps whatever you need en route. This we really don't need to have you do. This is for flushing the blank sewage tank. I will take care of that. When you're filling the water tank, this blue arm is here in this position. And when you are hooked up to what's called city water at a campground and they have a hose with fresh water coming out, you would put your hose into here and put this in this tank. When this is in this mode, you're not filling the tank. You're just using water from the post at your campsite, filling this tank, or sorry, filling whatever you need. So there's no water pump needed in this scenario. It's just taking the pressure just like at home. When you use it, it's there. When you turn your tap off, it's off. That's all you need to know out here. Don't forget the outdoor shower is here. As I mentioned, here is your kitchen sink. Runs just like your kitchen sink. In the back, you have a bathroom sink, nothing special. The toilet is a little bit different. Down here is a pedal to flush it. I don't have any water in the system right now, so it may not even flush. But when you flush oh, there's a little bit of water. The door opens there and it flushes into the black tank. So that's that. There is a water pump button in the master control panel up front. If you're boondocking without power and without a city water line plugged in with your hose, then you have to run the water pump. So it simply turns it on and turns it off. This is your hot water heater. It's called instant, and it is pretty quick, much quicker than the older styles. All you do when you want hot water is put this to the on position. You'll see the light up. So it's heating right now. Of course, there's no water in the system, so it's probably struggling. That will turn your water on. It's not critical that you turn that off, but there's no reason to leave it on when you're not using it. So that's toilet usage, bathroom sink, shower. There's nothing special about the shower. Treat the doors with care, please. And when you're done and you're getting ready to drive, put this little clip on the doors to make sure that the doors don't slide while you're driving, because everything that's loose will slide when you're driving. Let's see, water conservation. Water usage matters a lot more than at home. If you're not hooked up to a city water connection at your campground, the best scenario is to get wet for 60 seconds, turn the water off. Soap up, get wet then rinse it for 2 minutes or so, turn the water off. If you run out of water and you're planning on boondocking for the week, you've run out of water. That's the only option. You got to drive somewhere and fill up your tanks. So keep that in mind. Same thing at the sink, washing dishes. Just be mindful of running out of water. I hate to have you drive 20 miles to a remote campground and then have to go find water somewhere. In the toilet, just like you see in the pit toilet signs, nothing except for human waste goes down there. Nothing other than RV special toilet paper that is supplied or you can buy at most stores. Lastly, on the kitchen sink, there is no garbage disposal. So no food scraps, no grease, no solids. down the kitchen sink, please and thank you. There are two things that will be disabled because they are easy to break and costly to repair. One is the awning. The awning is just extremely expensive and not worth you or I having to deal with a broken awning. So that will be completely disabled from use. Secondly, there is a leveling system. I've had troubles on it with this system, so I have just simply disabled it. These orange blocks, basically most campgrounds you pull into are fairly level. You can drive up on your front or back. They stack up kind of like Legos, and you can level out your RV however you need. These slides need to be on level ground to work. They need to be, if you're on an angle left to right, front to back, the slides will be compromised. And again, if that's something that breaks, I hate to have that very expensive repair taken out of your security deposit or additional charges beyond that. Thank you for your understanding. So a great canopy pop-up tent would be a super thing to take along with you if you have that for shade. Okay, just a quick summary before you pack up and hit the road to come home on your last day. Everything and anything that's not properly stowed will crash from side to side. The paper towel roll will unravel all over the cabin. If you don't have this cover in, it will fall somewhere, wherever. When you pick it up, I will show you. I will generally put a kitchen towel underneath this glass cover because it rattles quite a bit going down the road, and that simple fix helps you. So anything and everything sitting on the counter will roll, and it will probably happen in the first 100 yards when you drive through your neighborhood to leave, and you'll hear everything sway from side to side and it goes crashing to the ground. But right now I'm going to show you how to pack up and stow the slides. This queen bed is segmented and cannot be closed with the bed all the way out. So kind of flatten out whatever bedding or pillows you have there and leave this mattress folded over. Here for this slide, make sure there's nothing, kids' toys, pencils, bouncy balls, small things that fall under the crevices. And make sure there's nothing underneath that edge or here, because this whole slide unit comes in and they are controlled here. This is your slide button, and I'll only do it briefly for each one, but for the rear you push and hold the retract button. And as you can see, if that mattress was out, you would very likely damage the motors that are pulling that rear slide in right now. So be sure, before you start retracting that bed, check the floors for miscellaneous stuff and fold that mattress over. And you'll hear it when it starts right there. Now you take your finger off. Same thing for this one. We've already checked the floor and other debris. This is labeled as the front slide. You press and hold the retract button. And there it goes. And there's still ample room to open the bathroom door in the back and to get by the table. But these slides are beautiful because they provide so much more living and moving space. But it is obviously tighter when you're underway. And there you go. That's it as far as packing up the inside, other than stowing everything that's sitting on a countertop. You're ready to pull and lock the door behind you and hit the road. Okay, before we hit the road, I have gone around and put everything away. I've stowed and made sure the bins are at least latched. It's up to you if you choose to lock them. Very simple to lock. If you have items that you want to be safe, highly recommended you lock them. These utility containers or access points are important to lock because they're not even latched until you lock it. So there we go. Now it won't flop open when we're driving. But I have put the slides in, I can visually see that they're flush and all the way. If you have something on the storage rack here, make sure they're obviously tied down properly. Storage is closed, gas, propane is closed, the video is closed, and off we go. Close and lock the door behind me. That's really it. This RV is designed to be comfortable and simple. I think renters who understand the systems usually have an excellent trip. I will walk through everything again at pickup, but this should give you a solid overview before you hit the road. Let's go explore Colorado. A couple notes on driving. This is 25 feet long, so as RVs go, it's a short RV, but still you have to take wider turns, especially going slow at a gas pump, for example, turning around those concrete bunkers so you don't hit that. It'll be thousands of dollars even if you just bump it to repair and replace parts of the body. It is a V6 turbo, so if you've ever driven turbo, they have what's called a turbo lag. When you're leaving a stop sign, you give it gas and it moves, but it's just a little slow, and then all of a sudden the turbo kicks in. Just something to note, and you'll figure out in the first few minutes that you're driving it. As you can see here, the camera's going with the rear view camera as well as two. Mercedes has a very safety-minded feature, although it's a pain in the neck. If you're driving in high winds, it will hit the brakes and try to stabilize if it feels like it's getting blown off track. So keep that in mind. It's kind of scary the first time it happens, then you realize it's just the computer auto-correcting. It'll happen when a semi blows by you at 80 miles an hour and you're doing 60. So just like a wind gust in Wyoming or western Colorado and Utah, those are kind of scary the first time it happens.